What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Michelle Renee from IamMichelleRenee.com. And today I have an extremely special guest, another dope Black woman from South Florida. I'm so excited to share with you Miss Chelsey Brown Stringer. What's up, Chelsey? How are you?
Oh, good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
It is such a pleasure. Chelsey is one of the amazing women who was nominated to be interviewed as a dope Black woman. And I think that's a huge honor because to have another woman look at you and say, you know what, you dope and people need to know that, that's powerful. That means you've had an impact on people. Tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what your brand is.
Again, my name is Chelsey Brown Stringer. I am from Clewiston, Florida. I have been in business legally a year. I just
Okay.
celebrated our first year on the 13th of this month for our event planning company. And in the means of that, I also started two other businesses, one being a treat line called The Bomb, and the other being a website that got inspired by some friends of mine that passed, House of Empress. So that alone, I use that as a platform for just women. I love to talk. I love to meet new people and just mesh and vibe out with them. So me doing that inspired everything else. When I first got into business for the event planning company, that became something personal for me because of my personal experiences as a bride. I wanted that day to be perfect. It wasn't as perfect as I planned, but it was perfect as God seen for my husband and I. So from that experience, I knew that every bride I ever came in contact with thereafter, I was going to make that experience personal for them. So that business was just derived upon love and what God gave us from our date when we first got together. So
That is
that was
so beautiful. That's
it's
beautiful because you know, if as a former bride, you know how stressful that is, and to have somebody that starts with a mission to make sure you feel loved and appreciated and have your heart's desire at that time. That's powerful in and of itself.
because literally from the very beginning, if you don't have a foundation and realize it's not really just about the wedding, it's more so about your union. But as little girls, we always dream about our wedding and how we
Of
want it
course, you
and
planned it. You played it out.
that's how we want everything to be perfect. And the moment something doesn't go quite like that, it seems like everything falls apart. I'll mention this part about that day and then I'll move on to the next venture that I started. That morning, I kept saying, Lord, be the center of my contentment. Be my joy, no matter what goes on. Allow me to still remember why we are doing this. And
Yes.
in the midst of all of that, he whispered and said, Chelsey, this is where it all starts from. I'm like, why does he keep giving me that? Why he keeps giving me the thing about it starting from here? At the end of that night, I realized what he was trying to tell me. And
Yeah.
from that day to this one, I pledged that I would do it. I would be full-fledged with it and do whatever it took to make sure that they never felt how I felt, but felt how they should feel.
Listen, when you have a passion that is derived from experience, you just gave me chills. It does something to you. That's why I went into education, because I was like, I remember being a child in the classroom feeling unheard and unloved and unattended to, and I don't want kids to experience that. So let me go and do something that's going to make sure they don't feel that way. So that's
Yeah.
so powerful. Thank you for following your passion. Tell us the name of your event company.
Elite Event Services. I actually have a partner, a Cure for. We've, like I said, we've been in this business a year. We both kind of shared some of the same experiences when it came down to our actual wedding day. And we just knew we wanted something different for other brides. We wanted their experience to be better. Um, in the midst of starting that, I just came up with other ventures as far as the bomb. But the whole pandemic, we had to come up with different things to be creative and just have something else to do in the house besides just being on our phones. But I came across the bombs. So I was seeing how doing chocolate cocoa bombs. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so unique. Like I've never seen that before. So just playing in the kitchen, it comes to me, Chelsey, you can do this. Try it. So I literally tried it and it just grew from there. I'm a
That's
strong
amazing.
believer that adults make opportunities for themselves.
Mhm.
So I was just like, just give it a try. It'll fail or not fail, but anything I know that we touch, God says it won't fail anyway because He's in it. So I just knew I was just going to give it a try, and it truly did prosper. So That's
I
how
think
that.
that's beautiful because you speak in a whole nother language too. See, Lo didn't tell me you was gonna be a minister. So
Yeah.
let me go ahead and touch on that for a second, because when you make good with what a gift that God has given you, right?
Mm,
If you make good on a vision that he's giving you, he'll continue to give you those things.
he
So
will.
when he saw that you acted on the first thing, he's like, okay, I could drop another little nugget over here. Okay, I could drop another one and another one. So that's how you see people. You're like, oh my gosh, they're like a serial business person. It's a reason behind that. One, they figure out the formula to be successful. Then they take that and they do it in such a way that is not self oriented, but it's people oriented. And that's how you're able to move forward. And I think that is beautiful without
That,
words.
I'm telling, when things come to me though, it comes to me in the middle of the night. And I'm like, God, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. I'm a fourth grade teacher. Then I want to start an event planning company. Then I want to do a treat planning company. Then I want to do a clothing line too. How, how am I to do all of this and it all still be successful? I was looking at I was doing an ad, putting all my ad stuff together, and I'm just like, Chelsey, do you realize you are a jack of all trades? You're doing this, you're doing that. Like I never want to fail at anything that I do. And I don't want to put too many hats on to where something else is lacking.
Right.
However, if he gave me the vision the way that he gave it to me, he's not going to allow it to fail.
That's
I just
right.
equipped enough to do what I need to do so that it can prosper and touch other people. Literally, every business that I've started, it's never been me at the center. Like I've never thought of just myself. And even to the point of House of Empress, I've had
Mm-hmm.
two friends to pass in a domestic relationship.
Wow.
And I I knew before that I want to do something with fashion, but thereafter that, I said, you know what? I want to do something to show honor to them. And
Mm-hmm.
two main lines that are just so important to me. I'm gonna put out for one of them, Red Lips, Pink Toes. That was one of the girls. She was into fashion as well. I'm gonna do a clothing line for her. And then for the other, Bright Eyes. That was a nickname that we had for her. It's just, it's bigger than me. And I know it's
Yeah.
bigger than me. Sometimes it's hard to even understand, but I know that the path I'm on is the right path.
It
And for that,
absolutely is.
I'm still getting everything together for that, getting the website under construction. The website is still under construction, and just getting all my inventory together. But whatever I do, I want to make sure that it's right and it's presentable for people, so that they're able to gravitate to it and feel the message from it, and just love on it, whatever it is that I decide to put out, and just give to them as a service.
I absolutely love that. Tell everybody, like, you covered how you got started in it, but from the pandemic to losing friends to your experience as a bride, and everything has a personal connection. But you started these businesses in the midst of a pandemic, or at the beginning, the mark of a pandemic starting, right? How did that fare with being in business, trying to figure out, okay, what are we doing? Your business is reliant, like heavily reliant on people, especially the events, places, and things like that. How has that affected you?
I haven't felt the effect. I have to be honest, I haven't. With everything being new and in that babe stage, I didn't expect a lot. I
Yeah.
expected some type of feedback, but not a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
But the feedback that we did get from all three, I'm appreciative for. It was
Right.
all enough to be like, well, oh my goodness, I can see this going places. Even in the midst of everything that's going on, I see this going places. People, when they're home, when they were home during the pandemic, they wanted to buy things, they wanted to try things as far as wellness and wanted to look good still, and just planning for it thereafter when everything is over.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I didn't really feel anything, to be honest.
That's a
I did.
blessing. That's
Yeah.
a blessing. I've talked to quite a few entrepreneurs that didn't experience it in that way, or they had an increase as a result of it because everybody was on hold. So I
Mhm.
think that's truly, truly amazing. Talk a little bit about, I saw one of your a picture from one of the events that you created. It was actually an anniversary. Your anniversary, is that true, or is it birthday?
My husband's birthday.
Oh my gosh, honey, you laid out the red carpet so
My husband's
beautifully.
birthday. I I'm learning. We've been married going it's gonna be 2 years, February 2nd.
Okay.
So we're in the babe stage of that too. And
Yeah.
I'm learning that when you want something poured into you, you pour back into them. Which I've known that, but at the same time, you learn that even more.
Listen, honey, you about to get into wife talk. And that's one of the things that I know, that
Oh,
even if you know what you desire and how you desire things, your spouse may not necessarily know for sure. So you have to give examples. You have to be explicit in the way that you show that this has to take place. So
exactly.
I think that's beautiful when you're thinking about planning out events or even doing things as I'm going to say as simple as a birthday, but it was far from simple, y'all. I hope you allow us to show those pictures because it was far
Yes,
from simple.
you're welcome to.
But when you're starting that and you're preparing for an event, how do you even get started? Are you saying, okay, I'm going to take a theme and go from that? Or what inspires you to say, this is how I'm going to do it and I'm going to go all the way with it?
It can be anything. It can be simply somebody saying something, or maybe I've seen an outfit somewhere, or again, like a thought may have come to me, and then I'll just go from there. So, like for his birthday, I wanted, I want to go to Japan. I've always wanted to go to Japan, and we say all the time we want to travel, but due to the pandemic, we weren't able to when we first got married. Like we weren't able to really see the world how we wanted to. So I said, you know what, I'm going to bring it to us. And I went online, looked up stuff, and I came across that a catering company, Eats, and I'm like, okay, I don't know these people, but something keeps telling me to reach out
Go
to them.
for it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I reached out to them, when I tell you their service was amazing, customer service, even their service that they showed us here in my home, it was amazing, very professional. But from beginning to end, from picking them to getting the masseuse to having Lo come in and take pictures for us to me getting his outfit together and even venturing out to other vendors for other things that we needed, it was amazing. It
I
was, and I
love it.
said, okay, I'm doing this for him. One, because I want him to feel good. I want to celebrate him. But
Mhm.
then two, okay, I can also use this as a business op to show
Yeah.
people to plan a birthday and a private dinner and all of that. Because sometimes us as people we get complacent. We're used to certain
Yep.
things.
Yep.
And some but we have to expose ourselves because the world is constantly changing. We have to change with it and
You have to be
allow our
ready to pivot.
yes, we have to open up our minds to be able to take in all these other experiences. It's so much out in the world that people know nothing about. Nothing.
Absolutely.
And I'm determined to try to bring that to them if they're willing to be exposed to it. You know what I mean? I tell my husband all the time, it's different ideas I have for the community. I want to do this, I want to do that. But sometimes I get a little discouraged. And I remind myself, again, Chelsey, it's bigger than you. So whenever you do it, gotta allow it to flourish as it needs to flourish. But that birthday, he was happy, I was happy, I was really happy with the results. And Lo
Absolutely.
put the cherry on top with the photos. And
Honey,
honestly,
she is, that's my picture, babe, honey.
what I tell you, she will make you look good, even if you didn't look good from the beginning. And we joke about it all the time. She said, I love your extraness. I said, girl, you hype me up. You just don't
Yes,
understand how
yes.
you hype me up. I'm comfortable
Mhm.
with people in general, but she makes the experience
Mhm.
even more enjoyable just with her demeanor and how she is. She's
Yeah.
awesome. Every
Yeah.
vendor that we had for that event was amazing.
I'm so like, I love that. Like you said, it was beautiful from start to finish. Being able to showcase that was very smart. That's a very strategic way to go about and do things to show people, okay, this is just me doing this for the person I love. So imagine what we could come together and do for a person that you love. So I
Mhm.
absolutely love that. So you talk about being a jack of all trades. What are some other things that you're looking to get into? When can we find out more about House of Empress? And I'll stop there and then I'll give you the next part.
Honestly, I don't think I'm going to start anything else right now unless he gives it to me. If he
Got
gives
it.
it to me, I'll be obedient. But other than that, I think that I'm kind of at a halt. I'm just going to kind of just really try to nurture each one of
Hmm.
these vendors and try to make them the best that I possibly can. House of
Absolutely.
will be up and active hopefully by the end of March. Just waiting on a couple more things to come in so that I can just have it ready and posted. I just, I'm a perfectionist when it comes down to certain things. So I definitely want to make sure that it's right whenever I do put it all out there for the world to see and become involved with.
What is it going to be the specialty? Will it be plus size clothing? Will it be
It'll be
standard size clothing?
plus size, and then regular from small to large. So
Okay.
something for everybody, for everybody.
That makes me happy. Because if Lo told you anything about me, she probably told you that the girl love to shop. She gonna
Yeah,
support a black business. She don't do nothing else. So
yeah.
that makes me really
So
excited. Yeah, I'm really happy and I'm excited for the ventures that you have. Tell everybody how they can find you, how they can get your services, and what is in store for what you have going on with Elite Event, The Bomb, and House of Empress.
okay, they can find me on Facebook at Chelsey Brown Stringer. They can also find us at Elite Event Services of Florida.com. And we also have a Facebook, Elite Event Services of Florida. They too can also find us for the bomb at the Bomb Cup of Love on Facebook, along with House of Empress is also on Facebook. But again, that's not as active right now because of it not being publicized just yet.
Got it, got it, got it. Listen, you guys have heard it from her. She is giving you all the information to go and check her out with these amazing ventures. You got my wheels turning now because everybody's having a milestone year in my
Yeah.
house, from my girls turning 10, both of them turning 10, and then a 13-year-old and then a 5-year-old.
Oh,
So
wow.
we may be connecting sometime soon about these birthdays. I'm so
Totally.
excited to interview you, Chelsey, and so excited to share you with the world. Is there anything else that you'd like to let people know about who you are?
I'm just a person of love. I love people, and I'm all about service, whether it be to serve them in ministry or whatever it is, or just in life in general. I love people, and sometimes I think that God gave me that gift to show me things about myself, but in terms to also just use me as that vessel. So I'm just appreciative for what He gives me to give to everyone else. So
I
I
love
thank
it.
you for this time, though.
I love it. One last question. What
Yes,
is
ma'am.
one word that affirms who you are?
Professional,
Professional. Say it again.
professional.
I love it. Tell us why.
I look at everything as a business venture, literally everything. No matter who you come in contact with, sometimes the way how you respond to that person or even your body language can come off in a way that can be positive for you or
Mm-hmm.
negative for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, you don't know how later on down the line, you may end up meeting them or they may know somebody that you may know. But
Yeah,
by the words that you speak, your demeanor and how you handle situations, they will definitely remember that. If they don't remember anything else, they'll remember
so
that.
true.
So I feel like by me being professional, I think that that leads a lot of the success that I've had within the businesses thus far.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I'm so glad to have met you and to get
You
to know
well,
you. And I look forward to doing business with you. Everybody,
likewise.
be sure to check out Chelsey Brown Stringer of Elite Event Services of Florida, The Bum, and soon to come, House of Empress.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to share this with you. And as soon as House of Empress drops, please know
I
she will
will.
be back. She gonna come
Promise.
back.
Promise. I
We got to
promise.
talk about it. So thank you so much for your time, Chelsey. I appreciate you,
Got it.
and I'm wishing nothing but blessings and the best over all of your ventures.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.